Hey everybody, and welcome to Waseca County, Minnesota. I am starting my own challenge, and this is called Cows and Corn, where you start off with $1 million in loan, $100,000 in cash, and you need to do cows and corns. Production is related to cows or corn, and you need to eventually have $5 million in cash after you've paid off your loan. So what is this that I'm doing? It's going to be on normal economy, and all sales that you partake in, they must be generated through cows or corn. That being said, you can, have dairy cows and you can make milk or cheese or whatever you want through them and still sell that, but you cannot sit there and, have corn, feed it to pigs and sell the pigs. You can sell the manure, you can sell any slurry that you produce from those cows. You can sell corn flour if you so wish. You can sell dried corn, canned corn, things of that nature. I do not care if anybody uses the straw type mod to get straw from your corn so that you can get your manure. That is fine. You can make silage from your corn if you so wish and sell it. That is fine. You cannot make silage from grass, but if you would like to, have your own TMR and sell that, that is fine. I'm not gonna fault you for that. You've got to figure out how to make your money, but it's got to be utilizing the corn. So, if you were to sell your TMR, you would have to make your silage from corn. Just throwing that out there. Okay, leasing is okay. Financing is okay so long as your total financing plus loan value does not exceed $1 million. You may keep or sell any starter farm equipment or buildings. That is also fine. These are things that I think are important because this is your farm. You make it how you want to. I'm going to sell stuff. You do not have to use something first. But let's look at what we're going to start with for equipment. So you've got the Great Plains seed drill. And it's a nice one. I think it's 4.6 meters. It's pretty nice for a starter. You got the Massey 8570. When you see the one field, that's going to be feeling like it's small. Then you've got the Vermeer mower. Again, pretty nice. You've got this storage barn, which personally I hate the look of these. Gosh, they just seem like, General Steel was out here throwing buildings up wherever they wanted. You've got this Meridian grain storage bin that does require an auger to get it loaded. I will be getting rid of both of those. I will also be getting rid of all of these buildings that I find are useless. You are giving the very small square baler. I will be getting rid of that. I feel it is useless. I will be getting rid of the clothesline because I will only wear one outfit for this entire playthrough. There is another grain bin over here that I will be getting rid of, as well as this small garage that I will be getting rid of. Most likely, I will also be getting rid of both the cultivator and the plow because I just won't be seeing any reason to keep them. Over here we have this barn. I have not yet decided if I'm going to keep it. I'm not a fan of storage halls. This one does have the windrower that we will be starting with, but I'll probably be selling that as well because I don't want those items. I don't even know if I'm going to make TMR. I might just sell or feed my cows straight hay. It's 80% and it's just a lot less work. I want to put my general focus on getting my farm built up. So if I'm going over all of the items that I needed to really quick, initial crops is something that I forgot to mention. Initially, you start off with 2 fields. This one here, which is oats. It's not a lot of oats. You'll probably want to keep the straw though, so do that. And then you're starting off with this gigantic field that is 24 acres and of field size, and this is soybeans. So you are allowed to keep this field and that field. Any fields that you purchase, if they are already planted, you can keep the crop in that and sell it for profit. My wife stepped on the dog. You can keep and sell those crops for profit if they are not corn. That is fine. You cannot sell your straw though, guys. So, plan accordingly. If it's too much straw that you'll never use, I would just turn the swath off. But you are allowed to sell any initial crop when you purchase the field or your starter farm crops. I'm not going to tell you have to plow them under. That just doesn't seem right. But you'll be planting corn or grass to feed your cows or sell your corn or whatever you want to do with it. So there is that limitation. Next on the agenda is what I'm going to do. I'm going to start selling stuff I don't want. So let's go ahead and hop into this construction mode. One thing I have not mentioned that I do want to mention is I would prefer that people are not using like extreme type of productions that are, creating tons of money really fast. That seems a little bit like it shouldn't have to be said, but I just want to put it out there. The other thing that I want to put out there is I want to avoid too much shenanigans when it comes to your equipment. So super wide forage wagons that have a pickup of like 30 meters. It's not realistic, guys. I know that it seems like I'm being a little too nitpicky, but it's just one of those things that I'm like, it's not that realistic. All right. I hate these buildings, so I'm going to get rid of this because I hate halls in general. So I'm going to sell that one, and it's not worth much. The reason I'm not jumping into selling this one is because it has a higher value that I just don't feel comfortable doing. Now, this cow barn, it only holds, I think, 70 cows, 57 maybe. Not really something I need. But yeah, so let's go ahead and continue with getting rid of things that I don't want on my property. And that includes decorations. I do want to just get this little section here where I got rid of that garage. I want to clear that out. But yeah, I don't want to have a bunch of silliness when it comes to your productions. Do what you want to do. Don't have to follow suit with what I'm saying just because I'm saying it. I'm nobody. But I do want to just kind of have some sort of a challenge be kept. To me, it's about that challenge that we're trying to really pursue something different and unique. All right, so I've sold off all my buildings that I don't want. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to sell off the equipment I don't want. So let's get in to our finances and vehicles. All right, I'm getting rid of this. I am getting rid of this. I'm not getting rid of that because it's got no value. I am getting rid of the Great Plains solids stand. I'm going to keep the truck. I'm going to keep that tractor for the moment. I am going to get rid of the cultivator because I don't intend to enlarge fields. I have not decided if I'm going to make TMR yet. If I do, I do, but I just don't feel like that is something I need to do right this moment. I am going to get rid of that baler because I'm not going to pick up the bales. Okay. So we have everything that we are going to currently hold on to, except for we're getting rid of that. Let's go and buy the things that we want. And I have not looked at, so I turned off the extreme because the extreme thing, while it's cool and great and everything, I just don't need that many things coming at me. I guess I could say, you could say. I don't want to have a million used vehicles. It's just too much. Excuse me. Sorry. Now, what are we going to do for a baler? That's kind of cool. I'm not going to lie. It is cool. It's also something that I don't feel like I want. I am going to purchase this because that is the actual seed drill that I want. It does everything, and it is precisely what I want. So I'm going to speed it up, though, to 12.5 miles an hour. That is our working speed. I am considering this bale trailer, or this one, because it'll pick up my bales for me automatically. But I'm not going to worry about it right this moment. So I've got my seed drill. I am going to need some sort of a tanker because of milk. But that looks like that's all the equipment that I can get there. Next, I am going to purchase my Pottinger hoe because everyone likes good hoe. All right, got that. Next, I need a seeder, or I'm sorry, a spreader, and I'm going to get this guy here with full extension, 12.5 miles an hour, spreading discs. That's 55 grand. All right. When it comes to my grassland equipment, I want these John Deere square baler. I know. You guys probably don't think this is fair, but I don't care. It's the one I want. I'm not going to worry about wrapping right now because I don't know if I'm going to do TMR. Next up, I might just do grass for my cows, to be honest with you. Next up, I need is a windrower, or tedder. And I'm just going to go with the Lizard Farm King rake, which will do everything I need to do. All right, so we are at $264,000. I have decided that I am going to autosave because that's what it's doing. But no, I am going to sell this just because for right now, I don't need it because I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't even have grass or anything, so to me, it's just better to get rid of it. All right, so now we are sitting with all of our equipment that we currently starting with. What is next? Well, we've got grass that we need to, I'm sorry, not grass, but we've got our stuff here that we got to get So we are going to take care of this. It's only going to be about, I don't know, 3,000–4,000 liters of oats. I have thought about just getting horses to feed it to them, because I mean it's only going to be like $4 grand anyways. But can't do anything with horses. Can't sell them. They're just kind of for aesthetic. So I haven't completely made up my mind. But we are going to go ahead and get this all done. Now, I'll probably put up 2 silos, or 1 silo and then a silo extension. It's probably going to be the wooden one that holds 100,000 liters. It's $40,000. Same for the extension. So I'll have 200,000. And this makes so much more sense to me than having nearly 2 million, 1.8 million. So that was going to cost like 114,000, or had $114,000 in value. I just felt that was a little bit of a stretch. So let's go with the old school wooden ones, and we'll have 200,000 for like 80 grand. A little bit more reasonable. So those I still have to purchase. The traffic is just flying through here, which is kind of cool. But yeah, I think that if we do that, we're going to keep some sort of, realism to what we have for money. And I don't want to have a ton of money left over to start with, because I've already purchased the basic equipment. I'm going to get a new shed for over here, and I might get like a field shed, which is just going to be for like my lime, that sort of stuff. Which, while we're going on the field here, that reminds me, I did not buy any lime. So let's go buy our first 7 bags. That will all go in our spreader. Okay, so we've got lime. And let's go ahead . And I want to place my 2 silos somewhere, kind of like this area here. So let's go ahead and do that. Silos. So we're going to go down here to, where is it? No, I don't want that. That's way too unrealistic. So 40 grand, and I'll get 100,000 liters, which I think is acceptable. And then we'll go with a silo extension for 40 grand. Alright. I will do some painting later. I don't want to have the ground cover looking like that. But we are now at storage. We're back down to $214,000. I need to get a shed in place because I got rid of a shed, but I want something that's not so much a storage hall. While the storage halls are fine, I just don't want it. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead with a shed that is that style? No. I don't want that one per se. I'd prefer this one, I think. So I do need to get that out of the way. I'm thinking something like that. And then I am going to sell that off. I'm actually going to move it. And I think what we'll do is we'll set that as a container. 5,300, that holds 10,000, that holds 5. Okay, yeah, I think what we'll do is we'll just set this something like right there. And that prevents me from going in on the side. And then we'll go ahead and do some painting of gravel. And there. Maybe a little bit more gravel. And animal mud. And just kind of spread the animal mud. Just do a little bit of animal mud love in here. There. That looks pretty good, I think. Let's go ahead and go back to our harvesting. I did notice that I have a little bit of an issue with my settings. And we'll go ahead and get those all fixed. All right, now we're going, guys. So the next thing I'm going to have to do is I'm going to have to get some cows. And I'm going to have to get this planted into grass. But I'm probably going to get this some grass before I really worry too heavily about cows. Because I don't want to buy bales. Now, how many cows can I have? I can have as many as I want to pay to get. So right now I only have $202,000. So all the stuff that I've bought and sold, it's kind of it lasted very little time. It's, like I said, it is gone already. Now I am considering getting rid of the John Deere 3650. That is still on my possibilities to get rid of, because I just don't really want that tractor. I don't really like using the John Deeres. I grew up using John Deeres. I love John Deere. It's nothing against them, but I'm just too comfortable with it. And I like to knock myself out of my comfort zone. So what we didn't use was Case International, Massey, New Holland, things like that. Fent, Klaas, all of those were not really things we used. I mean, if I sit there and I talk about it, almost everything was John Deere. The only international equipment my dad had was a 4-bottom plow. He, as far as harvester, was like John Deere. It was like a 45 EB or something like that, I think. We had a John Deere seed drill. We had John Deere baler, square baler, small square baler. A John Deere 4000. We had a New Idea rake, New Idea 2-row corn picker, a New Idea corn crib elevator, mean, that was what we had. We had an Allis-Chalmers 145 loader tractor. We had an Allis-Chalmers 4-bottom plow, which we never used. We had a 3-meter Oliver chisel plow. So I mean, yeah, there's a lot of things that we had, but just kind of just different growing up, I guess. I mean, we had gravity boxes. They were all Gilbros, and we had flat rack Gilbros running gear for all of our flat rack bale trailers. So I mean, or hay wagons, I guess is what we would call them. So yeah, I mean, that's what we had. I think we even had an old New Idea manure spreader and a New Idea feed grinder for all of our corn. That's what we used to grind up feed for our feeder cows, because we didn't do dairy cows. We did beef cows. Yeah, I mean, there was just there's a lot of things that we did, probably not really the exact same as what you imagine in Farming Simulator. Everything we did was by bushel, not by meter or liter. Everything we we started off with a sickle mower. For years we had an old New Idea sickle mower, and eventually I believe my dad wound up getting a international hay bind. So there's lots of things that Farming Simulator doesn't actually portray it, and that's fine. It's not expected to portray all of it, but that was kind of the reality back in the 1980s, 1990s. We didn't have a lot of this big modern equipment. We had 116 acres, which by Farming Simulator standards, that's pretty huge. But in reality, in the Midwest of the United States, that was not much of a farm at all. But my mom, she's still here. My dad is not. He passed away like 9 years ago, but a lot of the equipment still remains on the property. What's left of the property is my parents did sell it off to a large farm that did dairy, and as my dad's health declined, it was just costing them money because he couldn't farm it, couldn't make anything off of it. So yeah, there's a lot of different things that go into farming that not really maybe portrayed on the game, and I'm not really going to go into many details on that. But yeah, we had 3 corn cribs, and we would fill them every year with corn to grind up and feed to our cows. That's what we did. We never had more than like 25 to 35 cattle at a time, and we'd raise them for about 15 months. They'd go to market, and that's that. But as you guys can see, this challenge is getting a little off track with what I've been jabbering about. So let's go ahead and get back on track, and I'm going to call it an episode and see if anybody else wants to join. If not, I might just do this playthrough by myself. So hope you guys enjoyed it, and we will see you guys next time. It's Graybeard Gaming, and this is the Cows and Corn Challenge. See ya.